And what does ConocoPhillips see in Concho Resources?
Well, hi, Taylor. I think primarily they see scale, and in scale they see as sort of a good moat and some defense against possible changes in legislation around what they can do with some of their reserves. Obviously, they're already, Conoco are the largest, I think, in the Permian, or one of the largest in the Permian. This deal would give them more scale there. They're also going to increase their spread across some other wells. And so I think they're looking at this and they're thinking, look, our share price is depressed, the target share price is depressed. It's probably a good moment to do this. And it also, as I say, it gives them some prophylactic measures against potential rollbacks, that Biden might do in terms of some of the easing of energy regulation.
Interesting. So potentially a political maneuver as well. In terms of financing of this deal, how do you expect that to be paid out? Does it have cash ready, willing, and able?
I would think if they wanted to get cash into this deal, there's more than enough capacity in the bank to do something like this. Obviously, both companies are, reasonably good credits, but I think this is much more likely to have a heavy stock component in the deal. You just look at the way these two stocks have traded. It would be, if you were a shareholder of Concho, you would look at this and you would think you want some of the upside. You would definitely want some of Conoco's paper, because obviously this is all premised on the fact that they think there's going to be a recovery in oil prices, and they think they can take this from, where it is now, down 50% on the year, or slightly less if you take today's bump. And they would want to ride some of the upside. So I think whatever happens, it's likely there will be, a material stock component to this deal.
Yeah, Ed, and anytime you get these types of deals, of course, the next question is always, are there other deals of this type floating around out there potentially?
Well, let's hope, because that's what keeps me busy. I think often deals like this, you then have sort of follow-on deals. And this is a space that is ripe for consolidation. As I say, there is the defensive element of just all-out scale. But it's also that you have a lot of price pressure. I mean, these companies have been walloped along with a lot of the economy, but particularly anything exposed to oil, because we've seen the oil prices come down massively. So I think, there is it's not quite a distressed merger, but there is definitely an element of, if you're going to do a deal like this, now is a good time to do it. And as I say, if you can offer the shareholders of the target some ability to ride the potential upside, then I think you can get these things done.
And how quickly is this expected to come together, and how dependent is it on that oil price recovery that you mentioned?
I think at this point it's probably not too dependent on oil price recovery. We think it's coming together fairly soon, possibly as early as the next few weeks. The talks are obviously fairly advanced between the parties. Look, I suppose as with any deal, there's always a possibility it falls apart. There's also a possibility of an interloper and therefore a different deal appearing. But as far as we know, and our reporting, I think, makes clear, this is something that is reasonably far along and probably going to be announced quite soon.